What is the definitive answer to the job crisis? Stay tuned and find out now. Please follow our interactive conversation on Twitter by following @SolutionsTV and the hashtag at the top of the screen. Get your pen, get your paper, get your tablet, call a friend or colleague to join you. The journey to economic dignity and solutions begins right now. We'll be right back. Welcome to Solutions, the definitive source for vetted economic dignity, knowledge, and access. Our collaborative journey towards our definitive purpose begins right now. I want to encourage you today and speak prophetically into your life that this painful and necessary shift and intentional change in our lives, families, communities, government, businesses, and churches will be counted toward our manifest destiny and purpose. Let's embrace it, learn it, live it, and give it. Be open-minded, complete your due diligence, take action, get results. Today's conversation is on economic dignity. That's right, economic dignity, entrepreneurship, and ownership. Entrepreneurship is the act of being an entrepreneur, which can be defined as one who undertakes innovations, finance, and business acumen in an effort to transform innovations into economic goods and services. This may result in organizations or may be part of revitalizing mature organizations in response to a perceived opportunity. The most obvious form of entrepreneurship is that of starting a new business, also known as a startup company. However, in recent years, the term has been extended to include neighborhood, community, social, and political forms of entrepreneurial activity. There is an entrepreneur in each and every one of us, and we plan to work together to manifest it as a viable source of income for you and your family. Entrepreneurship is freedom, freedom is dignity, and dignity is divine. The parable of the talents in Matthew 25, 14 and 30 outlines the challenge that is before us. For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then the master went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But the one who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. The question to you, the world, your church, your community, what are you doing with your talents? You can follow this conversation and interact with us via Twitter, Facebook, eFactor, and LinkedIn. Share your thoughts by following @SolutionsTV or using the hashtag economic dignity. It's on the screen. Joining me today from downtown Atlanta's 200 office, a premier business lounge and accelerator for startups at 200 Peachtree, is Mr. Kelly Robinson. Kelly is a Douglas County commissioner. He's also the chief executive officer of Archie May and a professor of entrepreneurship at Georgia State University. His expertise is in mortgage securitization, government finance, capital raising, entrepreneurship, and economic development. Highlights about Kelly: he was the SVP of strategic pricing of a $4 billion portfolio at a major bank. He's consulted in 5 different countries and created a solution to a national crisis. Also joining me is Mr. Don Maxwell, is the EVP of 24 Asset Management Corporation. His expertise is in real estate ownership, investment, and community development. Don has played in the NFL and Canadian football leagues. He delivered over 27,000 loans valued at $4.5 billion during his tenure at Fannie Mae, and recently raised a $1.5 billion REO, real estate investment fund, on Wall Street. Also joining, Mr. Charles Green, who is Executive Director of the Small Business Finance Institute and is the author of the SBA Loan Book. His expertise is in small business lending. He's been involved in more than $250 million in small business loans, involved in raising more than $10 million in private equity, written 6 books with more than 70,000 copies sold, organized and served as president and CEO of Community Bank. Mr. Malcolm Pope, he's the co-founder and CEO of For the People Incorporated. His expertise is in serial entrepreneurship and startups. Mr. Pope created a team of 30,000 representatives in 90 days in one organization. He's a co-author of the affiliation True Wealth 101 Success System, a 400-page book of wealth building strategies and tips. Also joining us is his brother, Mr. Singar Pope, who's the co-founder and president of For the People Incorporated. His expertise, also like his brother, created a team of 30,000 representatives in 90 days, and he's also the author of The 7 Truths of Life. Joining us also is Michael Robarski. He's a former principal of Age Wage Communications, author of Startup Smarts, and his expertise is in startups, turnarounds, venture capital, and telemarketing. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's good to have you. There's a job crisis, they say, and it's expanding. And for many people, we're having the conversation about not just going to get a job, but creating a job. And you represent a part of the community that has experience in startups, building companies from the ground up, financing these companies, building this. And this is the information that people who may not have a job or people who may be in transition want to hear. So I want to thank you in advance for your contribution to this conversation. Kelly, I want to start the conversation with you. I've personally watched your career evolve from corporate America as a serial entrepreneur, now as an elected politician, still as an entrepreneur as well, and a professor. Talk to people who are in transition and have to make some decisions regarding their career.
You know, and here, let me give you some context, and this is a good point, jumping off point. You know, where I live is 130,000 people, right? And we have the second highest unemployment. We have the 10th worst bankruptcy rate in the state, and we're 4th in the nation as it relates to personal bankruptcy. No money, no credit, no anything. With that being said, the question becomes down to, what do we do when the bills are due every 30 days? It takes me 18 months to bring a corporation to my county from start to finish, and I'm competing against 158 counties. So when a person is faced with those situations, and I have grown men in my office and women, and they're crying, they're like, well, what do I do? The biggest thing right now is that you got to come into the reality that you have to do something different, because the jobs are getting less and less and less. There's more competition for that job. Where once you had 10 job offers to one person, it's inverted now. So the biggest thing that people need to do right now is just come to a reality that I need to take some type of action. And a lot of people right now are still stuck, which is why we continue to see the bankruptcies. We continue to see the foreclosures because they're waiting for jobs to come from somewhere. But again, everybody has a gift, a talent, or something that can be monetized, and the question becomes, okay, I have to believe in myself to go do something about it. So you got to start with this reality that I've got to wake up to this situation that, what do I do in the meantime when the bills are due every 30 days?
Absolutely. Good answer. Michael, a lot of people have great ideas, great innovations, witty ideas. What are the 3 things that you would say are must-haves in starting a business today?
I think the first thing is you got to love it. You're going to spend an inordinate amount of time doing whatever you pick. If you are not passionate about it, I guarantee you, you're not going to succeed. You got to love it with every ounce of your being. So find something you love doing and believe in. And so when you are out spreading the word about it, people come flock to you because they're saying, I can believe this guy's vision. 2, I'd say you've got a plan. The idea of somehow we're all going to stumble into success, it just isn't a reality. You got to find something you love, and then you've got to make a plan. And people say, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, the 3rd thing I'd say is find some guides. And you can do that in a couple ways. There's books. Everybody here seems to have at least read one.
Written one, looks like as well.
So there's guides, there's resources available. But the other thing is there's partners. And one of the things that I think people are ignoring in this economy is that there are companies out there who are looking to partner with people. Sure. And they may have products or services that they're saying, well, I don't know exactly how to get that to my market, or if you can bring new ways to distribute them, all of a sudden you may not have to build a product. You just have to say, I can add some value and bring it. So I think those three things: love it, plan, find guides and or partners would be three things I'd say right now.
Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a season not to go it alone. This is definitely a season for collaboration and, you know, working. You know, you can be the CEO of your company and own 100% of it, or you can be Bill Gates and own a small amount of it, and you can see the difference there. So that's very good information. Now, Charles, let's match a little money with these ideas, because we've got people who have great ideas, great executive summary, but now it's time to put some money there. What's a definitive strategy, real briefly?
Well, the days when you could just sort of come up with a number and expect 3 banks to be bidding on it are over, because they did that for years and they wound up with a lot of bad paper and a lot of bankruptcies resulted with people who couldn't make good on their big ideas with a really poor planned amount of money. So I coach folks that are going to have to do a combination of things. The bank may or may not play a role in this, but you're going to have to get more specific about the channels of funding you go to. If, for example, you're looking to finance working capital, the bank's out of that business. You're going to be going to more specific non-bank lenders who provide working capital financing. There are many specialty lenders today. If you are selling goods with credit cards on a regular basis, there are people who don't look at your financial statements. They don't look at credit reports. They look at what Yelp is saying about your business. They're looking at how your sales are growing and see what kind of comments are on your website to determine how well are your business prospects. And the other part of that is you yourself. Look at the inner person who's running this business. It's not a lifestyle. It is about a business. It's about building wealth and building security so you can pay your bills every 30 days. And that means using the resources you have to leverage that business. I could be in a nice office tower somewhere going to work every day, or I can sit in an empty bedroom that my daughter no longer occupies to run my enterprise. That's a financing strategy because I'm eliminating overhead and cost. Some of us don't have jobs because we were eliminated cost one day. And likewise, we have to treat our own businesses a little bit smarter going forward.
Very, very, very insightful. And those are some new techniques. A lot of it's just good common sense, though. And it looks like the age of no common sense loans are gone. Right. And I don't think we'll ever get back there, respectively in the near future. So thank you for that insight. Singar, you see a lot of innovation, serial entrepreneur. What types of small businesses do you recommend first-time entrepreneurs out the gate? You might not have the Mark Zuckerberg idea yet, right. But
right out of the gate for a first-time entrepreneur, I think because of the economy, specifically because of the economy, a lot of our options have been narrowed. I think before, when we would come up with a bright idea, and we had those banks that were willing to bid on it, or like the commissioner said, we found different things out there today that we become smart about how we approach things today. And so as a first timer, I would recommend, if you have a passion, if you've got all the resources, you got the know-how, you've been able to work in that prospective field, then from there, you can find yourself landing in a business associated with what you already currently do.